Hey, Tom here from the Run Testers. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Skullcandy Push Active Wireless Earbuds. Let's take a look. The Skullcandy Push Active Wireless Earbuds come in at £69.99 or $79.99. There's 44 hours total battery, that includes 34 in the case and 10 in the earbuds. It's IP55 sweat resistant and the weight is 95 grams. The Skullcandy Push Active are true wireless earbuds that offer a cheaper alternative to premium options available. Despite the smaller price tag, Skullcandy has included a number of features that can be found on more expensive options. There's a 44-hour battery life, that's 10 in the buds and 34 in the case, a fast charging feature where you'll get 2 hours for a 10-minute charge. There's Skull IQ voice control technology, which allows you to control a selection of 11 earbud settings like volume control, skipping tracks, and answering calls completely hands-free. There's also a stay aware function to allow you to hear external sounds clearly, sound button customization via the Skullcandy app, and they charge via the case using USB-C. The Skullcandy Push Active are also IP55 classified, which means they can handle sweat, dust, and light rain. The fit for me has been pretty good actually. I'm pretty pleased with the way that these are shaped. The ear hook works really well for me. I used these for the first time at the London Marathon this year, and I don't like, when I do a marathon race, I don't like to wear sort of earbuds that don't have any protection from falling off. So things like the Jaybird Vistas and the Jabra Elite Active 75Ts, I'm always a bit wary about wearing those when I'm doing a big race like a marathon, because if they fall off, I'm probably never going to see them again. So I like the fact that these have got these ear hooks on, and they worked really well during the marathon. They stayed on the whole time apart from once, but it was actually my fault. I pulled it by accident when I was moving my hat and the headphone came off. But other than that, they stayed on really well. I've read a few reviews that other people have done on these headphones, and some people have said that they can't get a really nice lockdown fit with the earbuds. I've not had that problem. As a result, people are saying that they don't get really good noise isolation because the earbuds aren't really fitting their ears properly. They fit mine perfectly. They come with 3 different sizes of ear gels, but I've not had to change mine. I've just used the standard one that came when I opened them up, and for me, yeah, they fit perfectly. They pretty much isolate the noise, fit perfectly into my ears, and I've had no issues at all with the fit. So for me, they work really well, and I really like the ear hook design. The battery life for these is 10 hours in the earbuds and 34 hours in the case, which is not really surprising when you see the size of the case that comes with these. But I found that I ran the London Marathon in these in about 3.5 hours. I did a few runs after that without charging them. I've had no issues with battery at all. So I think that 10-hour battery life is pretty accurate. It's definitely close to that. And I only really had to charge them for quite a few days after I started using them. You also get 2 hours of battery life off of a 10-minute charge on these, and that seems pretty accurate to me as well. Every time I've plugged them in very quickly to just add a little bit of juice to them. So yeah, nice little feature, and that's quite a nice boost of power because that'll cover you for most runs. The sound quality for me on these, it's not amazing. It's not as good as the Jaybird Vista 2s or the Jabra Elite Active 75Ts. And you can notice that if you're used to wearing those headphones, the sound quality on these is just lacks a lot of the bass and the sort of immersive sound that you get in those. But it isn't bad at all. The price of these is significantly cheaper than those top level headphones, and to be honest, I'm not an audiophile. I don't really mind too much if the sound's a little bit less than what you'd get in the high end ones, but I think it's very good. I think it's, for the price, I think it's good enough, if not more than good enough for that price. I ran the whole London Marathon of these, as I keep telling you, and I had no issues at all listening to it. I know people say you shouldn't listen to earbuds during the London Marathon because you're meant to be listening to the people cheering, but I like to have music throughout the whole marathon, just because it keeps my mind off of the pain that my legs are in. But I was listening to music the whole way. The sound was perfect, no issues at all, and I thoroughly enjoyed wearing them. I didn't at any point think I wish I was wearing another pair of headphones. So the sound for me is good, fine, but definitely justifies the price. So unless you really, really want the most perfect sound, these are a good option for the price, and I'm pretty pleased with them so far. And I'm actually using these when I'm not really even testing them, just because I like the balance of the fit of the ears and the sound as well. So I think they work really well. Probably the biggest feature that Skullcandy has added to these earbuds, and the one that they keep speaking about in all of the marketing material that you'll read about these earbuds in, is the Skull IQ technology that they've added into it, which is basically the ability to use hand-free commands when you're using these earbuds. Now, I'm not a big fan of using hands-free commands. I never really tend to use them that much. My favorite way to control earbuds is normally the tap format, just because I don't like shouting stuff out as I'm running through the streets. But I have used the Skullcandy IQ feature in these. All you really say to it is, hey, Skullcandy, and you get a range of, I think, about 11 different commands that you can use via the voice prompt system. And that controls everything from the standard features that you'd get, like skipping forward and back and changing volume. And yeah, it works very well. I actually found it quite useful in the London Marathon. As I say, I wouldn't normally use a voice prompt, but because I was testing these, I was using it during the London Marathon. That's quite a loud place to test something. So when I was using it to skip songs during that during that race, it worked fine. I didn't have any issues at all. I have found it struggles a bit in really windy conditions. During the marathon, it was actually quite nice conditions. The only sound was the crowds. But if it's a really windy conditions where I'm living at the moment, it's quite open. When it gets windy, it gets really windy, and it does struggle a bit when you get to that level. But I can shout a lot because there's no people around here. There's also a feature called Spotify Tap, and a lot of headphones are adding this in now. But basically, it means that when you get the headphones in, or if you take them out and put them back in, you can hold it down for a second and it will just instantly bring up the last thing you're listening to on Spotify, which, if you've used some of the older headphones out there, it can be a bit annoying. Sometimes you start listening to something and realize that you've got to take your phone out and press play. So that works very well. I've had no issues with that at all. Simple little feature, but it's just one of those things that adds a little bit of extra quality to a product like this. There's no ANC in these earbuds, so the noise isolation you get is purely from the fit of the earbuds. So if you can't get a nice fit on them, it may be a bit of a problem. But there's also a stay aware mode, which gives you the option to hear external noises a bit better than when you're just listening to the music in the standard setting, which I haven't found it has a massive impact on the sound that I get. It's slightly noticeable, but not massively. I don't tend to use these sorts of earbuds if I really want to stay away anyway. I'll use a pair of aftershocks or just run without earbuds in those instances. So yeah, it's not great for the stay aware, but it is slightly better. There's an app where you can actually control all of these extra settings and modify the customization of the various buttons. That works quite well. It's not massively complex. There's a fairly limited number of ways that you can actually change the buttons and settings, but I find that quite refreshing. When it comes to headphones, I really can't be bothered to spend ages trying to understand how these different equalizing systems work and convoluted ways to set up the buttons. So you can set up different buttons for the different things that you want to do on the earbuds. And I think the ones that were in there already that I started using, the standard setup was absolutely fine for me. I didn't actually need to add anything else into it. You can also change the sound that you're getting through the earbuds via some preset options, or you can just customize them based on the equalizer that's within the app. I think that works fine, but For me, again, when I started wearing these and I did play around with those settings, the standard settings seem to be the best for me. So yeah, you can play around with those a bit. And as I say, there's not loads you can do in there, but it's a nice addition to just tailoring these a little bit towards what you want. And is a nice move towards the more premium buds that you're seeing around at the moment that have really good equalization options. You can, of course, accept calls through these as well, and that worked completely fine to me, and you can use the voice control system to answer those calls. So yeah, I had no problems when I took a call and listening through this. The sound quality was fine. It wasn't amazing, but it completely did the job, and especially for the price, I think it's more than enough. You can also link the buds to your Tile account. If you've got a Tile account, you have to set one up if you haven't. And then it just means that you can then use that system to search for the buds if you've lost them. So my verdict on the Skullcandy Push Active wireless earbuds is I'm a big fan. I really like them. I really like headphones that are good value and give a nice balance of sound, price, fit, all these sorts of things. I think these just tick a lot of boxes without being too expensive. £70 is a pretty nice price point if you're looking for wireless earbuds, but you don't want to fork out for £180 or whatever for the premium level ones. And unless you really care about having the best sound possible, this sound is perfectly fine for me. And as I say, I have been using these instead of some of my more premium ones just because I like them, just because I find them a really enjoyable, comfortable one to wear. I also don't like carrying around £180 headphones a lot of the time because I'm worried I'm going to lose them. And when I'm doing races or when I'm running in the countryside and doing high mileage efforts, I don't like wearing my expensive ones because I know that if I drop one, I'm never going to see them again. So for me, this is a better option for a lot of those runs where it's still £70. I still wouldn't want to lose it, but I'd be less worried about losing these than I would some of my other headphones. And for me, they do the job pretty much almost as well in a lot of cases. The Skull IQ features I think are really good, especially for somebody like me who really doesn't need a lot of complicated technical features that sit within the app and within the earbuds. And there's plenty for me that keep me happy. The Hey Skullcandy voice prompts are perfect for me because I can't be bothered to do loads of setup and I can't bother to do a complicated system for using voice prompts. So that works straight away. You don't have to do any setting up on that. You just say it and it works. And yeah, I just was really pleased with that from the off. And it's a feature that I don't normally use on headphones because I can't bother to keep setting it up or having issues with it. Downsides for me are largely, first of all, it's just because it's slightly lower in a lot of cases than those more premium ones. So the sound is slightly worse. The features probably aren't as good as what you're going to find on those more premium ones as well. But for me, one of the biggest issues that I found is the case. So the case is one of the biggest cases I've seen on a set of true wireless earbuds. And that's not a major issue if you're not going to be taking the case out of you. I wouldn't take the case out of me if I was running out for a 10K or a half marathon. I wouldn't need to. But I would say that if you are carrying it around in your pocket or something, it is quite big, and it's also really smooth, annoyingly smooth. So unless you've got a bag and you're putting it in there, if it's in your pocket, and I've found this happen a few times, it slips out because it is really smooth. There's no need to make these cases really smooth because they just get lost. So that's a big down point for me because a lot of the cases that you're seeing now and things like the Jaybird Vista 2 are really small and just work really well. They have a little toggle on the Jaybird Vista 2 case so you can tie them nicely to something else so you don't lose it. Because really the last thing you want with these headphones, apart from losing the headphones themselves, is losing the case, because it can cost quite a lot to get a replacement case for these headphones. The other problem I have about these headphones is the button. It sits at the back of the earbud and my ear actually goes over the top of it, so I can't actually press it without pushing my ear away slightly, which is a bit annoying. And when I was using these for London Marathon, I was struggling a bit to work out where to press it, which is the last thing you want when you're running a big race and you don't want to be worried about anything apart from just getting over the finish line. So I think that is a bit of an issue, that button there. You get one on both of the earbuds, and yeah, it's the same position on each one, so it can be really difficult to use. I much prefer a tap system as opposed to a button. But yeah, that's a bit of a negative point for me on these. But apart from that, I'm a big fan of them. I think for the price, that even with issues with the buttons, even with the size of the case, I think that price point is really good. That £70 price point, it just hits it right on the mark, and you're getting a lot for your money if you're paying that. And I would hope over the next few months that that price goes down, because if these headphones come in a bit cheaper, if you can get them for £40 or £50, that is a steal, because there's not many headphones I've tried that are as nice as these as an all-round headphone. So I think they're a really good set of headphones, and they're, for the price, I think they're really good quality. So well worth a look if you want something that feels premium and gives you a lot of those features that you get from some of the high level ones, but you really don't want to go up to that cost. So that's it from me. Thanks a lot for listening to this review of these Skullcandy Push Active wireless headphones. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon, and check the channel out for all the other videos we've got, from the latest road and trail shoes, as well as all the latest tech, from watches to the latest headphones out at the moment. Thanks a lot for watching. See you soon.